Can a promiscuous woman change? Signs to look for. Let's consider a thought-provoking question. If a woman has previously engaged in promiscuous behavior, does that mean she will always be that way? Can someone who has had many partners truly transform into a devoted girlfriend, or even become someone suitable for marriage? Many people might instinctively say no, and in some cases, they would be correct. However, the reality is more nuanced, and several factors come into play, such as the number of partners she has had. Yet, there is an even more significant aspect to consider. What do biological studies reveal about the long-term consequences of promiscuity? Additionally, how can one discern whether a woman is genuinely committed to a relationship or still exhibiting risky behavior? In this discussion, we will delve into several key points. 1. The primary risks associated with a woman who has a high number of sexual partners. 2. The possibility of reforming promiscuous behavior. 3. The most telling sign that she is not promiscuous and is genuinely invested in you. And 4. The major risks for men who have had numerous partners. Before we proceed, it's important to clarify that this conversation is not about casting judgment. Rather, it is about presenting factual information. If you are new to my channel, my goal is to assist men in understanding modern women better, enabling you to attract and maintain meaningful relationships, or simply improve your interactions with women. Welcome to Just the Tip. Now, let's address the question of whether a woman who was once promiscuous can become a suitable girlfriend or wife. The reality is that some women can indeed evolve into committed partners. However, it is crucial to note that the higher her recent number of sexual partners, the greater the potential risks she may carry. Despite the modern societal push for female sexual liberation and empowerment, biological factors remain unchanged. Our brains form neural pathways based on our thoughts, beliefs, actions, and experiences. This means that everything we do leaves a mark on our brain. For instance, if someone develops a routine of going to the gym every morning, their brain will start to facilitate that habit. Similarly, if a woman has a pattern of engaging in sexual encounters with multiple partners, that behavior becomes ingrained in her psyche. This leads to an important question: can one override their ingrained behaviors? The answer is often yes, provided there are no significant mental or neurological barriers in the way. However, can a woman who has been promiscuous change her ways? Sometimes, yes, but success depends on certain conditions, which we will explore shortly. First, let's examine what research indicates about promiscuity and its impact on long-term intimate relationships. Neurotransmitters such as dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin play vital roles in our experiences, including those related to sexual intimacy. You might be wondering what this means in practical terms. Well, studies have shown that promiscuity can lead to various challenges in long-term relationships, including lower satisfaction, a heightened risk of infidelity, and difficulties in establishing trust. One particular study found that having multiple sexual partners before marriage is negatively correlated with marital quality and stability. In simpler terms, for both men and women, a higher number of sexual partners tends to result in lower satisfaction within marriage. Furthermore, it suggests that individuals who are actively exploring numerous partners may be less likely to settle down. To put it another way, if a woman is busy sampling many different flavors of relationships, she may not be ready for a committed partnership. This brings us to the idea that her recent number of partners is more significant than her total number of partners over her lifetime. If she is currently exploring many options, she may not be ready for the responsibilities of marriage. Changing ingrained habits is akin to upgrading the brain's software. It typically requires time and intentional effort. If she has not actively worked on changing her promiscuous behavior, it may indicate that she is not yet prepared for a serious relationship. She has either actively worked on transforming her ingrained behaviors, or has naturally outgrown them over time, particularly as her aspirations have evolved. However, the impact of her past behaviors, often referred to as promiscuity, does not simply vanish because she is now in a relationship with a man who is committed. This principle applies equally to men who have had a history of promiscuity. Until a man is genuinely ready to leave behind his previous lifestyle and settle down, his habits are unlikely to change, regardless of the reasons behind his promiscuity. The more sexual partners an individual has had, the more deeply entrenched that pattern of behavior tends to become. For instance, consider how challenging it can be to break the habit of indulging in donuts daily instead of hitting the gym, or to stop spending 5 hours gaming each night instead of focusing on studying or pursuing a better job. Over time, these habits can become so ingrained that they start to define a person's character, and ultimately, their self-identity, whether consciously or unconsciously. It's important to recognize that negative habits often emerge as coping mechanisms for something that feels lacking in one's life or within oneself, whether that manifests as overeating, excessive gaming, or engaging in casual relationships. If you find this discussion helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more insights. A crucial point to remember is that while we all have our imperfections, it's essential to understand that you cannot change her just as she cannot alter your habits related to eating or gaming. Sometimes, a significant life event can spark a strong desire for change, akin to the jolt of a strong espresso, while at other times, the motivation may simmer gradually, like a cup of robust yerba mate. Eventually, there may come a day when you wake up resolved to become a better version of yourself. This transformation is also possible for women, but just like men, they must be ready and willing to embrace change. However, it's vital that any desire for change comes from within. She must want to evolve into a different person for her own sake. Even if she is determined to alter her promiscuous behavior, like any deeply rooted habit, it requires conscious effort, consistency, and time. Another important aspect to consider is that when attempting to reshape an ingrained identity, individuals often face self-sabotage and setbacks before achieving success. This is particularly relevant for promiscuous men, and I will elaborate on this shortly after discussing a key indicator of whether a woman who was once promiscuous has truly changed. A woman who has moved past her promiscuous phase may be a worthwhile partner if she has been able to resist the urge for immediate intimacy with you, as this indicates she is interested in assessing your potential for a meaningful relationship. If she is genuinely seeking a committed relationship, the number of men she has been with, especially in recent times, may influence how long it takes for her to trust her own judgment in choosing a partner, and to determine if you are someone she can trust. It's essential to note that not every woman who feels a strong connection with you and chooses to be intimate early on is necessarily promiscuous. Perhaps you are simply that exceptional individual. This leads us to discuss the significant risks associated with promiscuity for both women and men. For a woman with a high number of past partners, the primary risk in terms of long-term love is her struggle to feel deserving of affection from a good man. Conversely, for a man with a similar history, the challenge lies in finding a woman he considers worthy of his love. I will delve deeper into this topic shortly, but it's worth mentioning that even for men seeking lasting love, engaging in sexual relations right away may not be in their best interest. So, please stay tuned as we explore this further. It's often said that men who struggle to attract women may actually have a better chance of winning over a high-quality, emotionally stable partner compared to those who are more experienced with casual encounters. Now, before you dismiss this idea, let me explain. Men who frequently find themselves in relationships with numerous women often describe these partners as thrilling yet emotionally troubled individuals, sometimes referred to as drama queens. The crucial point here is that when a woman is attractive, easy to approach, and the physical chemistry is strong, men can easily develop feelings for her. However, if you consistently pursue women who are easy to attract but challenging to maintain a relationship with, you may start to believe that all women share similar emotional baggage. This perception can lead to a jaded outlook, as your experiences are drawn from a limited pool of individuals who may not represent the broader spectrum of women. Moreover, a woman who quickly becomes intimate with men who exhibit negative traits, such as bad boys or narcissistic players, might generalize her experiences and assume that all men behave in a similar manner. This assumption can be detrimental, as it shapes her reality and expectations. When you become adept at attracting these types of women, you might begin to view those who have higher standards, who take their time to get to know you or who reject you because of your player persona, as unworthy or unappealing. This reaction can push away potential partners who might actually be great matches for you, leading you back into the cycle of seeking out easier, yet less fulfilling, relationships. While there isn't a strict timeline for how long a woman should wait before becoming intimate, it's essential to look for signs that she is interested in a long-term relationship, especially if that is what you desire. Positive indicators include her efforts to build a meaningful connection, her focus on emotional intimacy, and her willingness to engage in non-sexual activities together, such as hiking, cooking, or taking classes. If she asks thoughtful questions about your beliefs, values, and long-term aspirations, rather than just wanting to hang out casually, that's a good sign. It's important to recognize that some individuals may be more inclined toward casual relationships for various reasons, and not everyone is suited for long-term commitments or monogamy. While biological factors do influence behavior, they don't tell the whole story. If you're not seeking a serious relationship, then pursuing casual encounters might be the right choice for you. However, if you are looking for a deeper connection, don't overlook a woman who takes her time to get to know you before becoming intimate. Ultimately, what matters most is understanding your own values and finding a partner whose beliefs and long-term goals align with yours, whether that leads to casual dating or a committed relationship. Remember, it's not about avoiding experiences based on societal opinions or research. It's about making choices that feel right for you. Studies suggest that when it comes to long-term love, it may be more beneficial to remain abstinent than to rush into relationships with promiscuous partners. If you find yourself engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors in any aspect of your life, it might be helpful to speak with a therapist. I will provide a link to a reputable company that offers support for men without a female bias. Additionally, if you're curious about the signs that indicate a woman may be promiscuous, be sure to check out the upcoming video. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Did anything in this discussion resonate with you? Please share your insights, experiences, and comments below. I genuinely enjoy reading them. Thank you for being here, and take care.